Mark Twain on suffering. When I think of the suffering around me and how it wrings my heart, and then I remember what a drop in the bucket is, what a drop in the ocean it is, when compared with the measureless Atlantics of misery which God has to see every day, my resentment is roused against those thoughtless people who glibly glorify God but never have a word of pity for him. Every man is a suffering machine and a happiness machine combined. The two functions work together harmoniously with a fine and delicate precision on the give and take principle. For every happiness turned out by the one department, the other department stands ready to modify it with a sorrow or a pain. When the happiness and unhappiness are not equally distributed, the unhappiness predominates. Always, never the other.
About suffering, they were never wrong, the old masters. How well they understood its human position, how it takes place while someone else is sitting or opening a window or just walking dully along. How when the aged were anxiously, reverently awaiting the divine birth, there must always be children who did not especially want it to happen, skating on the edge of the pond at the edge of the woods. The old masters knew that even dreadful martyrdom must run its course. Anyhow, in a quiet corner, some untidy spot where the dogs go on with their doggy lives, and the torturer's horse scratches its innocent behind against a tree. In Bruegel's Icarus, for instance, how everything turns away quite leisurely from the disaster. The plowman may have heard the splash, the forsaken cry, but for him, it was not an important failure. The sun shone as it must on the white legs disappearing into the green water, and the expensive, delicate ship that must have seen something amazing, a boy falling out of the sky, had somewhere else to get to and sail calmly on.
I believe in God Almighty. I do not believe that he has ever sent a message to man by anybody, or delivered one by word of mouth, or made himself visible to mortal eyes at any time, in any place. I believe that the Old and the New Testament were imagined and written by man, and no word in them was authorized by God, much less inspired by him. I believe that the universe is governed by strict and unmutable laws, and these laws decide what happens. If one man's family is swept away by a pestilence while another's is spared, it is only that universal law working. God is not interfering in that small matter, either to hurt the one man or to help the other. Because I believe that the suns and planets that form the constellations of a billion solar systems and go pouring, a tossing flood of shining globes through the viewless arteries of space, are the blood corpuscles in the veins of God. And the nations are microbes that swarm and wiggle and brag in each and think that God can tell them apart at that distance and has nothing better to do than try. This, the entertainment for an eternity. Who so poor in his ambitions would consent to be God under such circumstances? No, it is not blasphemy. For if God is as vast as I think he is, surely he is beyond the reach of blasphemy. And if he is as little as that, he is beneath it.
You have done well in the contest of madness. You were brave in that holy war. You have all the honorable wounds of one who sought to find love where that beautiful bird does not drink. Can I talk to you as if we were close and locked away together? I once found a stray kitten and used to soak my hands in warm milk. The kitten came to think I was 5 mothers on one hand. Wayfarer, rest your weary body. Close your eyes, lay back your head, and in the morning I will kneel by your bed and feed you. I will so gently open your mouth and let you taste a little bit of my sacred life and mind. Surely there is something wrong with your idea about God if you think he would not be as tender. Well, welcome. We are delighted. I'm Aaron Freeman.
I am Richard Hensel.
And this is... So, can you understand how's the sound? Good? Oh, good, okay. Well, so it is the, welcome to the Chicago Humanities Festival. The theme is laughter. Our subject, the Book of Job. A known laugh riot. But actually, it really, really is. So now, when this particular topic was an assignment from the festival, they said they wanted the comedy of suffering. And it's a really interesting thing for comedians to, now the Book of Job, as you may know, is generally described as a didactic poem. We're down with the poetry, not so much with the didactic part. But it is interesting to think a little bit about comedy, because the Book of Job really is a comedy, depending on how you want to look at it. Anybody here got a good definition of comedy? I'm always curious about those. Anybody, what is comedy? What is comedy? Me. Certainly my kids would say that when I'm trying to be mean. That's very funny, Dad. But no, any other definition? Yes, sir. The seed of laughter? Ah, the seed of laughter. I like that. Okay, the comedy is the seed of laughter. What about anything else? What else? Yes, ma'am. A happy ending. Ah, classic. Very important thing about comedy. An unexpected, surprise is absolutely a surprise. Is one of the great laugh getters in the world. Like Bush finishing a complete sentence. Don't mean to be political. Couple more. What else? But what is
Somebody else.
Well, a lot of people say, there's something tragedy that happens to somebody else. That's right. That's exactly right. Well, it's an interesting, this whole notion about what constitutes comedy. And you mentioned it's really, a lot of people say, well, first of all, Shaw said that man laughs because he's the animal who can tell the difference between the way things are and the way things should be. Now, in Shakespeare, the tragedies all end in death and the comedies all end in marriage. Some people think those two terms are redundant. But that's not. But for purposes of this presentation, we want to say that the difference between comedy and tragedy is not really so much the difference between happy and sad endings, as that comedy is a way of looking at life that makes happy endings seem inevitable. Ooh. And in that context, we like to think about our character in our story of Job. And so we will now tell the story, our version of the story of Job. I am the accuser. I'm nobody's devil. Lucifer is a fallen angel. I'm on the highest level. I am the accuser, Hasatan in the Hebrew. I'll pile your stack of sins so high, your friends won't even see you. I am what you always feared, your joyous prosecutor. Your righteousness I'll mock and scorn, your ego I will neuter. My job is to expose to the world your every sin. And you look so full up with wrongs, don't know where I'll begin. But do not call me devil or Beelzebub. I'm Satan. When your life's up for review, I'll be litigating, prosecuting violations of our holy law. I am the accuser, but you can call me Ta.
Accuser, where have you been?
Oh, to and fro on the earth, walking up and down upon it. And Yah, I have to tell you...
Do not call me Yah. I am Yahweh, Creator God, Maker of heaven and earth. By the way, you have not become a fan of my Facebook page. And I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, thou shalt not call me
Yah. Sit down, please, sit down. I have very serious business. I told you I was up and down on the earth, and I have bad news. Do you know what they are saying about you on the earth?
What?
They are saying you are a John.
A John! I'll kill them! I'll wipe them off the face of the earth! I'll drown them in a deluge! Lightnings from the sky! What's a John?
Someone who hires prostitutes. They're saying that your followers aren't really your followers. They don't really care about you. They don't really love you. They're just in it for the goodies.
No.
They just like all the conquest and killing and booty. They're saying that your followers just pretend to follow commandments into your face, and as soon as you turn your back, it's all shrimp and pork chops.
Nonsense! Consider my good servant Job. He reveres me, worships me day and night, sacrifices, avoids evil.
Job is the poster child for the point. You build a wall around the boy. You give him nothing but riches. He has 7,000 cattle, 500 sheep, 500 asses, 500 goats.
Yes, I like round numbers.
He's got 10 children, each one more beautiful than the one before.
Beautiful.
Anyone would follow you for that kind of goodies. But you take that stuff away from Job, and he would curse you to your face.
That's ridiculous. You can take everything away from him. You could take all of his belongings. You could wipe out his entire family, and he would still love me.
Dream on. All right. Listen to this.
How did you get that?
I just happened to see it.
That's
later.
mine.
Well, I was just going to...
I was just going to show you something. There is an app for that. There. You can take away everything he has.
I can.
But you mustn't hurt his body. Only I get to do that. Promise?
I do.
Promise?
Pinky swear.
Pinky swear. I take you at your word.
The G-phone.
Yes.
Nobody gets to use the G-phone.
Well, it's that time of the millennium.
Thank Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, what exactly are you going to do? Let me show you. There's a couple of things.
Well,
Full of frogs is nice. Volcanoes, perhaps locusts, the plague.
well, the truth is, I told you I was going to and fro upon the earth. The truth is, I was time traveling.
You were?
I went to the earth in the 21st century Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
And they have some stuff to do to people there you would not believe.
Let's see it.
Wait. Now,
Oh, yes, that's good.
ready? The Predator drone.
Oh, yes.
A beautiful machine. $2 to $3.5 million. Waits in the sky. Now watch what's going to happen. You want to know what's going to happen to Job and his servants? Okay, they're just hanging out, Job and his boys.
That's
And
his car. I recognize it. He
blow it up real good. You lost yourself there. Here, let me help you out there. Yeah. But even better than that,
Yes.
have you ever heard of fuel air explosion?
Oh.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful two-stage device. The first stage is a beautiful cloud of flammable liquids. A beautiful cloud. And then the second stage is an ignition. And it ignites all the flammable fluids. And then there's a concussion wave with the force of a nuclear bomb. But no radiation. No. No radioactive half-life. No.
Very green.
It's the bomb Al Gore would drop.
Yes, he would, yes.
Watch this.
That blow down real good.
Oh, it's so
All right.
wonderful. And now Job is ruined.
Well, we'll see.
All right, now, I just want to say, I hope you have your listening ears on. Get ready to be cursed.
Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return to. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh hath taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh.
He really loved me. I killed his family, but he really loved me. No way. I told you I would win that bet. In fact, I'm so happy, I think I'll sing a song. This is dedicated to you, Tar. Cain slew Abel. Seth knew not why. For if the children of Israel are gonna multiply, why must any of the children die? So he asked the Lord, and I said, man means nothing, he means less to me than the loneliest cactus flower or the hungriest yucca tree. He chases round this desert because he thinks that's where I'll be. That's why I love mankind. I recoil in horror at the foulness of thee, at the squalor and the filth and the misery. How we laugh up here in heaven at the prayers you offer me. That's why I love mankind. Now the Christians and the Jews were having a jamboree. The Buddhists and the Hindus joined in on satellite TV. They picked their 4 greatest leaders and they began to speak. They said, Lord, a plague is on the land. Lord, no man is free. The temples that we built to you have tumbled into the sea. Lord, if you can't take care of us, won't you please let us be? So I said, yes, I said, I've burned down your cities, how blind you must be. I take from you your children and you say, how blessed are we? Y'all must be crazy to put your faith in me. That's why I love mankind. He really needs me. That's why I love mankind. I'm going to have to let you have my phone more often. I love to watch that prayerful reverence from my good boy Job down there. That does a great deal for God's self-confidence, you know. And in fact, I really enjoy that suffering look he has on his face. I don't get to see that very often. Usually I just kill them. I don't let them suffer. It's kind of like the look that you have on your face right now.
And what did you expect? Well, it's just not fair. You didn't let me hurt his body. I mean, anybody's going to be feeling better as long as their health is okay. As long as you have your health, you have everything.
All right, give it back, give it back. There's an app for that, too.
For what?
But you mustn't kill him. Oh, if you kill him, we won't be able to watch him suffer anymore. Right.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You're the best deity in the whole pantheon.
Yes, thank you. What is that?
And so, I went forth from the presence of Yah and traveled to the earth, and I smote the living daylight out of Job. I smote him with swords from the bottom of his feet all the way up to the crown of his head. He was in misery and pain. He sat himself upon ashes and took shards of pottery to scrape his poor miserable wounds. And then his wife came to give him words of support.
You were the world's luckiest guy. End it all. Curse God and die. Jump off a cliff and pretend you can fly. End it somehow. Curse God and die. Call out that bully up in the sky. Throw rocks or do something, but curse God and die. I'll pretend that you're dead and you'll be buried alive. That way you can curse God and die. You say that you love me, but there's nothing you'll try. If you truly love me, curse God and die.
You, thou woman, like an impious woman, speakest. What? Would you receive good at the hands of the Lord and not receive evil? What?
Job, you are a mess. You look terrible.
I feel... It's not fair. I was righteous. I made sacrifices. I avoided evil. This just isn't fair. If only I could have some kind of a trial. If only I could get some justice.
Job, you said the magic words, justice.
Welcome to the People's Divine Court. And here's your People's Prosecutor. You know her, you love her, you fear and dread her. The accuser, here's Todd.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all very much. We're so happy to be here. Well, welcome to the People's Divine Court. We have a very special defendant in the dock today, Yahweh Elohim, a.k.a. El Shaddai, a.k.a. Hashem, a.k.a. Allah, a.k.a. Yahweh, a.k.a. Yah stands right now accused of gross negligence, violation of contract, cruelty, and tremendous injustice against an innocent man, Job.
Not just innocent. I am a paragon. I am a very model for emulation. Against me, no God should have complaint. But look at me. Yahweh done me wrong. I'm a saint.
Well, now, you know, Job is a very upset fellow. Now, he believes that there's been a violation because in his heart he believes that the world is fair and just. Now, who here believes the world is fair and just? Who believes here the world is not fair? Now, can anyone give an example of unfairness in the world to help this man understand? Are there any examples of unfairness that you can think of in the world? Any examples of unfairness? Cancer? Well, Cancer, that you mean the astrological sign? No, I know what you mean. Now, see, that's true, but now what about when it happens to really bad people? Is that a sign of justice? Well, how about another example? I'd love an example of injustice in the world. Now, why is that unjust? Why, they are living right where we want to put a pipeline. Whose fault is that? Let me change it. How about an example of justice in the world? Now, surely you must see some justice around. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That was unjust of me to smack you. I'm sorry. But who can give an example of justice in the world? Which aspect? In fact, which Obama do you mean? But seriously, now how is Obama? Let me come away. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Now, there you are. Now, in what way is Obama an example of justice? I know people in the South who think that's just not right. Far from justice, that would be a sin. Do you believe it? Now, why is that justice? You know, you're so right. We've had so much time being ruled by those who are melanin deprived. All right, that's fair enough. Now, how about another example of justice? Now, who can give an example of justice? Justice in the world. Who thinks? Yes, sir. The Supreme Court of the United States. You mean the fact that Clarence Thomas is still on it shows that the world is in fact just? I suppose you're right, because knucklehead guys from the South should get their chance. All right, fair enough. Now, some people think, though, that poor old Job really does not deserve the pains that he has had to suffer, because he's a good man, and a righteous man should not have to suffer. Is that true? Do you think that righteous people do better in the world? Who thinks righteous people do better? Is there no connection between goodness and good things happening? None? You don't think good people in the world who have good things happening to them? No. What about Obama? What about Oprah? Now, what about Gates? You mean, which one? The defense secretary or the incredibly rich one? The incredibly rich one who gives away all the money. So it's just that having sucked out all of our money, he's giving it to other people. No, that's a very just thing to do. That's a very nice thing to do. But now, so is Bill Gates the ultimate symbol of justice in the world? Well, who would be the best example of justice you could think of? Mother Teresa. Oh, you mean she's a good person and she's dead? No, I'm sorry. Mother Teresa is a classic example of justice because she's kind? Or is there a difference between justice and kindness? Is Mother Teresa a good example of justice? No. You don't think so? Nelson Mandela is a good... You do like the Negroes in this crowd, don't you? We do like our Negroes. Whenever good things happen, I think it's fair to say that when good things happen to Negroes, that's just. That's a very just thing. I like that very much. Well, are there any examples of justice that don't involve Negroes? Can we think of anything that doesn't involve Negroes? What was that? Oh, Bernie Madoff. Yes. White supremacist Santa Claus. Yes, he's an anti-Semitic Santa Claus. That's certainly a good thing. And although I do feel terrible about his poor wife, it breaks my heart. Ah! But now, how often do we think that bad people are punished? How often does justice, aside from Bernie Madoff, how often do we think bad people are punished? Half the time? Do we think they're punished more than half the time? such a cynical group. Well, do we think that good people are punished, occasioned, are rewarded more than half the time? We don't think that good people are rewarded? Define reward. How many people here consider yourselves good people? How many people, that's very good. How many people here consider your lives good? Right now. So now you all think you're so good and your lives are so good, but there's no justice? That's a very interesting concept, isn't it? Well, you know, Job really believes he wants justice and he wanted his trial with God. But let me tell you what I think. Job was not a Chicagoan. At least not from my neighborhood. Job thought because he showed great piety that all of his life would be good. Job thought obeying the rules of his God would give him a world that was kind. But any Chicagoan would have told him, Job, you are out of your mind. Who told you that this world was run by Marquis of Queensberry rules? Go to a court, argue your case, get justice? You must be a fool. Job tried to impose a system of fairness on a world where it just didn't fit. The problem with Job and people like him is they think the game is legit. Job trusted not just in his own God, but in justice he truly believed. He thought, though the gods were capricious and cruel, that justice might somehow succeed. People who believe the game is legit keep looking for ultimate reasons. Chicagoans know that life is not fair. We're reminded each baseball season. Belief in a God is fine if it helps people get over their humps. But believers in fairness and justice and such, in Chicago, we call those folks chumps. Go on and pray, but at the end of the day, your actions don't matter a bit. The gods and the faith and the fortunes conspire to make sure the game's not legit. Religion is not work for sissies, you know. Faith is a job for the tough. No matter how cynical you can become with the gods, it is never enough. And speaking of gods, here comes Yahweh, showing his heavenly face. Now that the humans have talked themselves out, he gives his side of the case.
Where is Job? Oh, there he is. Job, brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and thou shalt answer me. Do you discredit my justice? Would you condemn me to justify yourself? Is your right arm like the Lord's, and can your voice thunder like his? Really? Then adorn yourself with glory and splendor. Clothe yourself in honor and majesty. Unleash the fury of your wrath. Look at every proud man and bring him low. Look at every proud man and humble him. Crush the wicked where they stand. Bury them all in the grave together. Shroud their faces in the dust. And then I myself will admit to you that your own right hand can save you.
Excuse me, yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but you seem to be rather down on human beings. And I just wanted to remind you of something that you said yourself about them. You said, what a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form, in movement. You said, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. You said, in apprehension, how like a God. But if humans are so terrible, yet so much like a God, then what does that say about you?
What does that say about me? What? Consider the crocodile, which I made along with you, and which eats cows like they were grass. What strength he has in his loins, what power in the muscles of his belly. The sinews of his thighs are close knit. His great tail swayed like a cedar. Surely the mountains furnish forth his food. He eats all the animals that live there. The lotus plants conceal him by the river. The reeds hide him in the marsh. The lotuses cover him with their shadows. By the stream, the poplars surround him. Though the river rages, he is not alarmed. He is secure. Though the Jordan should surge against his mouth, can anyone trap him by the eyes or capture him and pierce his nose? Thus spake the Lord. I rest my case.
It's not easy being a divine being. All that eternity and future seeing. We envy the mortals who die, thus fleeing the knucklehead humans we're stuck overseeing. Never a savior, no one is freeing the gods from our burdens, all those human beings whose welfare we promise to keep guaranteeing with their belting and burping and pooping and peeing and whoring and warring and never agreeing and always imploring us poor divine beings. And here comes old Job, devoid of all hope. He is one miserable dude, dejected and crushed, his hopes turned to mush. But at least his health looks improved.
Thanks for noticing. Life is terrible. It's just terrible. I don't understand.
Joe, I just want you to know I am very sorry about all.
It's awful. I just feel like, I kind of feel like God doesn't care.
He doesn't.
After all my sacrifices.
Doesn't care about the sacrifices.
My prayers, my reverence.
Yeah.
I avoided evil.
Yes, Joe.
Life is just a pool of quiet desperation.
Life has no meaning, it's unfair and unjust, and your God doesn't care in the end.
I know.
But I've got good news for you, Joe, old boy. If you'd like, you can do it again. I have a special invitation from Yah himself to give you another life. Another 70 years. And all the riches you had before.
Everything?
Cows.
Yes.
Cattle.
Yes.
Sheep. Goats. And 10 more children, even more beautiful than the ones you had before.
I never cared for those first 10.
That's just... You can have it all again.
Oh, that's wonderful, new wives.
70 years with, of course, time out for good behavior and having too much fun.
Oh, well, that's all right. That's fine. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. No funny business. No, Yah won't sufficiently just take it all back away or take it.
Oh, of course not. We would never just take it all away. Unless, of course, it entertained us to do so.
Oh, no. Well, but my health. You'll let me keep my health. After all, a man's health. Let me keep my health.
I promise your health will not be wounded.
Yeah!
Unless, of course, it entertains us to see that suffering look on your face. Because that's so funny! So, I'm going to be honest with you because it entertains me. We don't care. Ultimately, the gods and I will do for you and your new family whatever strikes our divine fancy. Because that's just the way we roll.
Well, I accept life. I'm going to go on.
That's fabulous, Joe. You're an idiot.
Well,
why would you do that?
I have my reasons. In fact, I have my top 10 reasons to go on living. Number 10, to breed, market, and distribute the world's first humpless camel. Number 9, to find some way to get the hell out of Canaan. Number 8, to keep the gods entertained so they don't buy up all the iPhones. Number 7, to give the Muslims someone to be pissed off at. Number 6, to squat beneath the awesomely beautiful heavens, bask in God's glorious sunshine, and take a warm, friendly poop. Number 5, to give the temple priests something to do. Number 4, to suffer and build character. Number 3, to get busy making those 10 new babies. Number 2, something about humiliation, suffering, sadness, I don't know, some junk like that. Then the number 1 reason for Job to go on living, I gotta live long enough to see my kids abused by my grandkids. Yeah! Yeah, please. I thought we were about.
We are gone in a blizzard of seconds. Love the body human while we're here. A gift of minutes on an evolving planet, a country in flux. Give thanks for bone and dirt and a million things that will kill us someday. For emotion, the pursuit of happiness, no guarantees. Give thanks for chaos theory, ecology, and common sense that says we are web. A planet in balance without that butterfly in Tokyo setting off thunderstorms in Iowa. Tell me you don't matter to a universe that conspired to give me such a tongue, such rhythm or rhythmless hips, such an opposable thumb. Give thanks or go home a waste of spark. Sing, or let the Creator redeem your throat. Dance, or let the Maker take back your feet. Dream, or let your God destroy your good and fertile mind. This is your warning. This, your birthright. Do not let this universe regret you. Now listen. Thank you.